Hello boys and girls, welcome to today's Zoom. I bet you're wondering why I'm dressed like this. Do you know who I am dressed as today? Do you know? I'll give you a clue. Today is World Book Day and the boys and girls in nursery were asked to dress up as one of their favourite characters from a storybook or a comic or a movie. So I dressed up as somebody who I know is in comics. They're like newspapers for children, aren't they? They tell stories in them. Do you know who I'm dressed up as? Did you guess? It is Batman, because I like superheroes, so I chose to dress up as Batman today. But do you know it's very warm in here, boys and girls, so I'm going to take my costume off and I'm going to show you one of my other favourite stories, and I think I will read that to you today. Ooh, that's so much better being Miss Yarrow, I have to say. Right, boys and girls, did you choose your own favourite story today as well? I hope you did. If you did, you could bring it to nursery next week when we all come back together. I can't wait for that. I'm so excited to see you all again. We'll have so much fun and do lots of super learning. This is another story that I like, so I thought I would share this with you because it's nice to share stories. It's nice to share them with your grown-ups before you go to bed or any time of day. You can ask your mummy, Mum, will you read me a story? Because when you read stories, you use your imagination and you learn to read as well. Okay. My storybook is called Little Red Riding Hood. You may know this story too. I might have to turn the pages to me, boys and girls, and then I'll turn it back to you. Once there was a little girl who loved to wear red. She had red shirts and red skirts, red shoes and a fabulous bright red cloak. Her name was Little Red Riding Hood. Early one morning, Little Red's mother packed up a basket. I have a very special job for you today, said her mummy. Granny is feeling poorly. Will you take her this fresh fruit, please? Oh, of course I will, cried Little Red Riding Hood. And she put on her favourite cloak and kissed her mummy goodbye. And off she went to visit Granny. It was a lovely sunny day and Little Red Riding Hood skipped through the woods. Morning, she called to the rabbits and the deer. I'm bringing Granny a special surprise. She sounds quite excited to me. But someone was peeping behind the tree. Can you see who it is? Is it the wolf? A big hungry wolf. Good day, growled the wolf. What are you doing in the woods all alone? Oh, I'm taking this special basket of fruit to my granny, Little Red Riding Hood replied. Yuck, thought the wolf. He didn't like fruit. He liked to eat little girls. So the wolf thought up a plan. A horrible, clever plan. Why not pick Granny some lovely flowers, he said. The wolf knocked on Granny's door with a thud. Is that you, Little Red Riding Hood? Called Granny. Yes, squeaked the wolf. Let me in. It's breakfast time. Oh, goody, said Granny, opening the door. What are we having for breakfast? You, cried the wolf. Oh, my word. Do you know what happens next? Ah! Yelled Granny. got Little Red Riding Hood, and she slammed the door right on his big furry nose. Ow! Howled the wolf. Quick as a flash, Granny ran out of the back door and into the woods to find help. Horrid old Granny, the wolf growled, rubbing his nose. But now he could put his terrible plan into action. Ooh, do you remember what he does? See if you remembered. So when Little Red Riding Hood knocked on Granny's door, it was a deep, scratchy voice that answered. Come in, my dear. Oh, there's the wolf pretending to sound like Granny. Little Red Riding Hood walked into Granny's bedroom and stopped in surprise. Oh, why, Granny, she said slowly. What big ears you have. Can you see her? Oh, all the better to hear you with, my dear, croaked the wolf, pretending to be Granny. And Granny, said Little Red Riding Hood carefully, oh, what big hairy arms you have. Oh, the better to hug you with, my dear, growled the wolf. But Granny, Little Red Riding Hood whispered, what big teeth you have. Oh, can you see them? How sharp they look. They don't look like Granny's teeth. The better to eat you with, my dear, snarled the wolf, and he pounced at Little Red Riding Hood. Oh! But she was scared. Just at that moment, the door burst open and in rushed Granny with the woodcutter. There they are, look. Stop right there, yelled Granny. Put her down now, bellowed the woodcutter, or we'll chop you up and turn you into a birdhouse. Little Red hugged Granny tight. Oh, I'm so glad you chased that wolf away, she said, and she gave Granny the basket of fruit. What a day of excitement, laughed Granny. Now, let's all have some lovely breakfast. The end. Can you close your storybook like this? The end. I'm not sure. Well, I know that Little Red Riding Hood did not do the right thing, going into the woods all by herself and then talking to strangers. Boys and girls, we know we never do that. You always stay with your grown-up. I hope you enjoyed one of my favourite stories. And if you want to bring your favourite story to nursery next week when we return, we'll see if we can read them just as we would have done on World Book Day. Okay, thank you for joining me, boys and girls. See you tomorrow.